Hello, my friend. Ah,
Sorry.
you're there. No, you're not.
Back.
How are you doing?
Good. Let me shut my door. How are you?
I'm great. Now, is that your home office or office at work?
This is Royal Oaks.
Okay, that's
I live,
awesome.
I live close to the club. It's just easier to always be here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I noticed during the directors club meetings that, a lot of your background is that too, a lot. So just interesting. So
Yeah,
how's life?
life is great. Just been busy. Um, just getting ready for the retreat next year. Um, I love so we'll making the video. We'll launch like vendors July, and then September we'll open up registration. So I hope we sell out again in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And then what are we doing? We partnered with a search firm that'll come out. It'll come out on Sunday, so that'll be great. So we're going after search and consulting, and we've been working on this app that's going to come out in a couple months, which will be great, and just a bunch of things.
that's awesome. I'm so happy for you.
Trying to keep it moving. What about you guys? Everywhere I look is CourtReserve.
We're building a lot of new features that you guys probably won't use.
But that's the best part about us. We're so happy as it is. We don't need
Uh,
anything.
no, it's awesome. We actually we're hiring a new product manager. So currently Tim's doing the product management stuff because he has such a passion for it.
I thought he was just climbing mountains these days.
No,
He's insane.
uh,
I can't believe he did that.
he literally he works like 50 or 60 hours a week, Jarrett. I mean, he's just the
Unbelievable.
hardest working person. And so he's hiring a product manager so he can do other things that he wants to do with CourtReserve. He wants to have an advisory board, so you'll probably get an invite for sure if you're
Awesome.
interested. Just
I'd be honored.
just we're always trying to do the right thing by the clubs and the directors, and that. So, um, well, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but this is the goal for what we're doing with this. I heard you got an Instagram account.
Yes, we just started on our Instagram.
Very happy about that. That's awesome.
I'm not really
Um,
big on Instagram, but I feel like we needed a presence there. So
yes.
and we started that Power Players podcast. So
Yeah.
the Instagram is just where we do like these office tours and different things to like showcase these It's just more ways to showcase all these directors that otherwise also would not get to be like, not everyone's getting to go on the stage at the retreat. Like that's just very picky. So
Yes.
it just gives more outlets for people to show what they do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working on Tim's office right now. I'll have you a video soon.
Uh,
Uh, so what we want to do is just kind of highlight what the directors club's all about, why you thought it was important to start something like this. I have a couple questions about your club and the benefit that this being a part of the directors club brings to club directors and pros, or however you want to do it. um, and literally we're just going to use this on social, and try and promote you guys as much as possible because we believe in what you're doing.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
We'll start. Can you hear me? Everything's good?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Hey, Jarrett, tell me, what is all about the directors club? Tell us, what is it?
What is the Directors Club? That's the simplest question that I get all the time, and there's just not, it's so hard to put that into one word, but if I had to, I would say the Directors Club is a family. It's a family of leaders that believe that we're better together. It's the idea that and more so it rejects the idea of an expert, and it's the understanding that together nobody knows more, nobody can do more. And what it really is it's bringing together the biggest names in the world in not only in rackets but in leadership and in hospitality, and it's empowering people to do incredible things and to challenge each other and compete with each other, but also to celebrate each other. And it's the idea that we don't need to be the star of the story, but we all need to be a part of everybody's story, and that there's no greater success than shared success. And it's an incredible movement that is really not only changing memberships and clubs, but it's changing people's lives. And we couldn't be more humbled to, the success, but also the belief and the trust of an industry.
It's amazing to get on your monthly calls and hear the passion that the speakers and people have for each other in helping each other learn. I really love the education part of it, because I believe that here at CourtReserve, especially for us, we're all about education. And if we can educate people on so many things that make their life better, it's a work-life balance altogether.
I completely agree. And I think we're at a different age. Before it was all about certification, and it's no longer about certification, it's about education. And I think a lot of times, especially as we change from tennis to rackets, you have people that don't want people to come together, because then it limits the power and the ability to grow. And it allows certain people that have had power for a long time to stay in power. But when you have these great people, I mean, who knows more? Like, look at search executives. You have these search firms that claim they're experts, right? But they haven't been a director in over a decade. So they were a director when it's tennis, and now it's rackets. And if anyone dove even deeper into it, you would say, oh, this person they've only been a director at seasonal clubs, and they're going to give you an understanding on how to compensate and how to grow. It's complete BS. And now you have this time when you have these leaders that are adapting and growing and are passionate, that are coming together. And that's what's magical. It's like anything can happen, and things are happening at such a quick rate now, because people aren't waiting and they're not saying, how do I say this? Do I need to say this correctly? It's like, no, you speak your truth. And that's something that's special to me when I think about the retreat. And you look at these certification bodies, like, we don't look at how many women are on stage, how many men are on stage. Are you black, white, Asian? It doesn't matter, because we want the best people. And I don't care. We're not gonna check a box to say we did something. We're gonna say we're gonna push the boundaries. And if you're the best at what you do, we're gonna put you on stage and you're gonna lead us all forward. And you know what? Sometimes it might be all women, it might be all men, it doesn't matter. What
Right.
matters is that we're pushing each other forward. And if we can always push each other forward, I don't even believe this industry will be recognizable in 10 years. But for the first time ever, and I mean this, in the 100 years of country clubs, in the last 100 years, there's never been a moment like this, where there's been a movement as powerful as what the Directors Club is, where it belongs to everyone, where the pros are now empowered, the leaders of the clubs. And that's really special, because it's the innovation that's happening right now, and the just the way these people are working together, it's inspiring.
So, Jarrett, tell me what's next in the racket and paddle industry.
Well, I think you're going to see limitless growth. I think you're going to see, the biggest thing we've always seen is all these clubs, they have these master plans for facilities. And what you're finding is facilities are one thing, but facilities without people are nothing. You can have the greatest facilities that nobody plays, and you can have crappy facilities that are booming. And what we're going to see now more than ever is you're going to see an investment in people, and how contracts are structured, and how they're empowered to also empower their staff. If a director has a better deal and a GM has a better deal, well, then their staff's gonna have a better deal. And if their staff has a better deal, well, then you better believe the members are having more value and better experiences. So I think you're gonna see a heightened rate of stability at clubs, where these directors are gonna stay longer because they're given more opportunity. I think you're gonna see a much bigger investment in education. And when I say that, I don't mean let's just have a million initials after our name. It's going to be, I really want to learn padel. I want to learn pickleball. I want to be with the best people. What makes Directors Club so great is, if you want to know pickleball, you don't need to go get a certification, which really is just it doesn't do anything for you other than give you, in some cases, a foundational understanding. What the Directors Club does is it's going to put you in contact with Ben Johns, with Colin Johns, with Gordon Kay, with all these people that are the names in pickleball or tennis. Because what I've always found is great people follow great people. And whenever I wanted to learn and whenever I wanted to be successful, I wanted to know the best. Like, I mean, look at Royal Oaks. We were stuck in a situation where we had 1 month to pick a reservation system. And because I had met you and Tim years ago with Ben and Colin Johns at a pickleball clinic in DC, I mean, that reshaped my club. I mean, we are in such a better position because of CourtReserve, but it came back to a relationship that we had together. And I believe the future for rackets and hospitality is going to be built upon these relationships that are going to help everybody grow. It's no longer the 40s. Let's call this search firm that's going to find us the right person. Because let's remember right now, the average director stays at a club for 2 to 3 years. And that's because the director's leaving, because they're growing their programs $500,000, $1 million. and they're not being compensated for it. So they're going on to get better deals. And who suffers in that? It's one, the director suffers because they're having to move their whole families again, but nobody suffers more than the membership at the clubs.
Right.
So through relationships, through gaining an understanding, when GMs and boards can now get understanding of, well, this is how you compensate. This is why you compensate that way. And it's not saying everybody makes more. It's saying, let's understand what the club really can offer and let's find a way to structure it so that people stay for longer. And every director is different, every GM is different, but it's that transparency and that trust. So I do believe the future is going to be built on relationships and trust, which, as simple as that sounds, is going to be a first for rackets and honestly a first for hospitality.
So, Jarrett, in your career, starting out years ago in the tennis space, correct? And then kind of getting into pickleball, what have you seen as the biggest benefit for members at clubs when it comes to racket and paddle sports?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. Coming from the tennis background, I was one of the initial people 15 years ago that was like, I would never try pickleball. But when my courts, when we had hit a ceiling and there was nowhere to grow, and my wife dragged me to this park and I played pickleball for 2 hours and she had to drag me out because I loved it so much, I saw right then that this was the future. And there's no quick fix. You don't just start pickleball and you succeed. You don't put padel and you succeed. Like people register with your passion. So if you're not passionate about it and you don't really understand, you're not going to succeed with anything in life. It doesn't matter if you're a plumber, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, like your passion grows. And so, for me, it's about the crossover rate. That's what I learned early on. At most clubs, on all clubs, there's an average crossover rate between racket sports of 30%. So if 100 people are playing pickleball, 30 of those will try tennis. We'll try the next logical racket sport. The highest clubs, like at Royal Oaks, we have an 84% crossover rate between the
Wow.
two sports, which is really why we've went from $1 million program to over 2.5 million. It's not about charging more, it's about getting more people on the courts. And so like that comes from the directors. It's not about teaching. Yeah, I don't want a tennis pro and a pickleball pro and then a padel pro. I want rackets pros that can show when you're on the court with tennis, be able to push the members and show them how pickleball can help their tennis. And if you're playing pickleball, well, this is a great entry point to tennis. And nothing shocked me more than and I never thought this would happen, but I remember when we built the pickleball courts at Royal Oaks, I never thought, I always knew golfers would come, but I never envisioned that on Sundays, and every Sunday here, you'll see the golf carts lined up at the pick all along the sidewalk. You'll see like 20 golf carts lined up. And it's all the guys that are before they golf, they come and play pickleball. And they'll play for, an hour, 2 hours, and they'll go get lunch and then they'll go golf. And I never thought I would see that. And it's become part of their own. And so like when I see USTA try to downplay the growth of pickleball by showing the growth of padel, padel's great and it's growing like crazy. But if you're to compare the two, the growth of pickleball is like leaving a faucet running at high speed. And the growth of padel is like keeping a faucet dripping. They're both growing, but there's no comparison in the rates, and there never will be. One's very expensive to grow, to play, to build, and one's very cheap. And what USTA should be celebrating is the fact if there's a 30% crossover rate and 50 million people are playing pickleball, that means 15 million people are going to come into tennis. If you're smart, that's how you market it. And when you look at the different sports, the next logical sport from pickleball that has somewhat of an inexpensive entry point, more money than pickleball, is tennis. And so for me, what I'd love to see is people understand those crossover rates and the value of actually investing in your staff to be rackets pros, that it will ultimately pay off for the clubs, it'll pay off for the industry, and it gives more opportunity to everybody.
So, Jarrett, what advice would you give to a club if you opened a club today? What advice would you give to a club that's opening their doors today to a racket sport?
What advice would I give to clubs opening today? So, we do a lot of consulting through the Directors Club. So, advice is something that I'm never short of advice, whether you agree with me or not. But my biggest advice always comes back to investing in your people. And that doesn't necessarily mean you pay them more, but it's giving them the ability to grow in that position. So I always want people that are entrepreneurial. So at Royal Oaks, I don't want the tennis pro that's going to be here for 20 or 30 years. I want the tennis pro that's going to come here, that's going to learn everything that they can, that's going to bring their ideas, that's going to change my membership with their excitement. And then in 3 to 5 years, going to want to move on and become directors. Because as that happens and they leave, I can bring new people in easily. And let's not forget in Rackets, there's a there's a growth. We're supposed to grow 300% and lose 30% of our staff within the next 5 years. There's a real problem in hiring. And we've never had any problem at Royal Oaks. Like someone can leave tomorrow and within 2 days, I'll have somebody great that comes in because people know when they come here that they're going to become directors and that's what they want. And I think that's really special. If you can give the right pathway and you can invest in your people, your membership is going to boom because they're constantly going to be given new life and new ideas. And they're going to have these pros that are excited to be there. That's what you want. You want people that are excited to share in this magic that is the club that you have. It's that sense of belonging. And that's going to come from people. Facilities are one thing, but belonging comes from people and the ability to share experiences and really share a passion and a love. So my advice to all clubs starting out, and even more so to clubs that have been around for 100 years, is invest in your people. Take the extra time. It's not about paying $25,000 for a search. It's about creating the right deal to keep a leader, a great person for the long haul, so that they can then focus their energy on their people who will focus their energy on their people, which are the membership as a whole.
I love it. Well, thank you, my friend. I think that's all. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I promised you 15 minutes. So is there anything that I can do for you today?
No, just I'd love to have you and Tim come to the retreat next year.
I know. Oh, it was
I love your team, but like I'd love to have you guys.
you would not believe because that was the week our pipe sprang a leak and we had to have our entire house repiped. Then I had to have my entire bathroom shower redone, and it was a complete like, oh my goodness, it was just too much. It was too
I
much.
believe it. You guys are
I plan on it. I plan on it. It's next April. It's mid-April next year, right?
April 12th to 14th. Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are always the most popular. Everybody loves your team. It's so funny. Like they just fit right in, like they're there, they're at the parties, they're just one of everyone. And because
Yeah.
everyone, like whether they know your team or not, like they know CourtReserve. So people just like it's like a magnet. It's very funny.